I'm Alli. I came out after 20 years of marriage, and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melisa, and I have 2 kids, and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles. Welcome to the Lesbian Chronicles.
You got me with that one.
Do you like that or do you like this?
I don't know. I kind of like the drum.
Yeah. Okay.
More fitting.
I know. It's good. And then after we say it, what we should start doing is this. Like we have a live studio audience.
I know. Hey, we should do a live studio audience sometime. We did that. When was that? Oh, at Pride.
Yeah.
Our meetup. That was it.
That would have been really cool.
So, yeah.
I'm sure this will get old, but for now, I'm still really into it.
Still stoked about the audio board.
I'm still stoked about the audio board. Anyway, so you've been traveling like crazy and then come home to move.
Yeah.
What the
my
hell?
life is pure chaos right now, to say the least.
Box living.
Yeah, I've been living out of a suitcase for the past month, basically. I've stayed in my condo like temporarily, and then Marina and I were out of the country for 10 days.
Oh
and like, I don't think I've ever been out of the country for that. Well, I take that back. I did study abroad. I was gone then, but it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we were like on boats every day, like ferries and stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't do well. Like I get seasick.
Oh boy.
We were hiking, we were kayaking. I started to get seasick on a kayak one day.
Oh God.
It was a lot. But
yeah, did I get a vibe? Yeah, like did I get a slight vibe, and I don't know if it was fatigue or real, that like maybe this trip was like a one and done, not your favorite.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I don't think I was prepared mentally. I thought it was going to be, I mean, I knew we were going to go hiking and I knew we were going to kayak. I didn't know we were going to kayak with like 2 to 3 foot swells in an ocean.
For hours
literally
and hours and hours.
Yeah, for like a good amount of time.
Right.
And then hike 10 miles where it was like incredibly steep. And we're like literally climbing over rocks and boulders and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I was envisioning a leisurely hike.
Yeah.
Be it long.
Right.
And I mean, it was a lot of fun, and the people that we were with were great. Our guide, I loved them, like so cool.
Yeah.
Like the moment that we showed up there, Gabby picked us up from the airport, because we were on a trip with an expedition company called One Seed, which is based in the U.S., and they basically plan these expeditions.
These gay expeditions.
Gay expeditions. It's actually not a gay thing, but we just happened to have a gay guide, which is great. And the moment they picked us up, Marina was like, "You think gay or not?" And I was like, "Oh, 100%."
Duh.
So it was like, it was nice too, because we could be like, "Hey, is it okay? Like here, like, can we be affectionate? Can we hold hands? Like, is that fine?" And everything was fine. Like, it was great. So
Cool.
There was one lady at a hotel that we showed up to, because we switched locations. I think we went through 6 different hotels throughout our trip.
Okay.
And we get to this one hotel, and it's like in this old ass building. It's been like owned by this family for like an eternity. So it's this old like woman running the show there. And
Yeah.
she is so confused that Marina and I are going into the same
she's
room.
like, wait, where are your husbands?
She's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
like, there was a group, like a father and son on the trip. And she like literally was like thinking that we were each paired with one of the men. And we're like, no.
No.
That 71-year-old man is not my husband.
That's hilarious.
So it was a lot of fun. It was challenging for sure. Marina got to see my side of me being just like, because when I'm like worn out and tired and
Cranky.
working out for hours on end, I'm not too happy about it.
Yeah.
And I needed to vent. And so she would come back to me and be like, this fucking shit. Like,
Yeah.
when does this end? It's hot as hell outside. Where's the bathroom? When do I get more water?
Yeah.
And she'd just be like, okay. And like, walk up ahead of me.
And like leave you alone?
Leave me alone. I was like, I just need to, if anyone comes to talk to me, I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling right now.
But why
no matter
couldn't
how many
you,
curse words.
are you not allowed to like just like sit, like take it easy? Like I might have been like, hey, it's not that you can't, you're in sick, great shape. Like, could you have said like, listen, I'm going to chill back at the hotel and read my book?
I mean, I could have done that, but it would have been missing out on like a full day of like activity.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, I just want an hour.
Seeing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it was more so like I had FOMO, like if I didn't go.
Yeah.
So we almost took a day to stay at the hotel and just chill. But that was probably the easiest day we had. We just like took a boat out to this blue grotto thing and went like swimming and toured these like caves.
Oh, sweet. So you're like, I don't want to miss that.
I was like, yeah, I'm glad we didn't sit out on that. We would have missed something like really beautiful. And that was just it. It's like we did these massive hikes and it's like these incredible views, just like clear blue water everywhere, like to where you can see down like 30 feet below. Like just, I've never seen water like that clear.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
And the food was great. Like it was just a really cool, I would have never in a million years been like, let's go to Croatia.
Yeah.
Not on my list, but it was incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool. There are things too as you get in your relationship that you realize you like to do alone or like you don't really want. Like I've realized I don't mind if like Maria goes running with me, but I like to run by myself or with Tatum. Like that, I just don't feel any pressure. I can do what I want speed wise. I don't care if. So to me, it's like there's things I've learned about myself. Another thing I learned this past weekend is I hate shopping with people. I have one friend I like to shop with, like try on clothes with. I have one friend, Becky Mountainer, if you're listening, you are her. I love shopping with her. I love being in dressing rooms with her. She's honest with me. But I don't like I really don't like shopping with Maria. Like I feel rushed or I feel like I just want to try on 50 pairs of jeans and not have anyone like starting to get annoyed with me. Yeah. And I felt like on this, like I'm learning about myself. Like if that's something I want to do, don't even bring her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like maybe you like a hike for an hour. Maybe if Marina wants to do some 10-mile thing, you don't need to go. Yeah, exactly. I don't need to go.
Well, it's like she's talking about going to Patagonia and doing that trip. And I'm kind of like, oh shit, like that sounds challenging. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is just presenting itself as this like new challenge that I should do. Like I used to run half marathons and I used to do triathlons. I don't do that anymore. So maybe I can just like start doing trips like this. Yeah. You know, where it is hard. And also maybe I train before I go.
Right. Or it's like you do a mix. You know, maybe you say we're going to go for 10 days, but we're going to do every other day. It's like when we go skiing. I don't like to ski every day. I love having a day off.
Skiing is one of those things where it's kind of like, I know I'm going to get the full day pass, but I'm going to do more close to it a half day.
Yeah. And then it's more fun because you don't feel pressure to like, oh God, I got to be out there every day. It's like too much.
But there was really like no way out. On
no,
these
I see that. Yeah.
We were like going up one way and like not turning around and coming back down.
Oh God. So
it was like we're different exits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even so, I'm glad I didn't be airlifted off the mountain.
Yeah, that's a positive. Do you ever do the thing where you like when I go to do something like that, or even like if I'm running a marathon, I look around to see like if there are out of shape people. Like I always look around and be like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. But it's deceiving. It's so deceiving.
It is so deceiving. Yeah. And one of the people in our group, the father and son, the father was 71 years old.
Holy shit.
And I I'm not going to lie. Initially, I'm like, there's no way this dude's going to be like keeping up on this hike.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be insane. He led the way the entire time on all of our hikes, all of our kayaking. I think the only thing that like I actually like passed him up on was biking. But
wow.
Outside of that, it was like this man, it was like he had freshly charged batteries every day,
every minute. Well, that's probably all he does. He's retired. He trains.
Well, he lives in Colorado. He hikes all the time. That's what he does.
Right.
Like, good for him. Like, holy shit.
Well, how was the move when you got back? Like
Oof. So building a house. Have you ever built a house?
I have.
A new house?
Yeah.
Okay. And anyone listening who has knows it's never finished on time. I learned that. And basically, like, I was gone. They were doing like final walkthroughs. I had to have my dad do it, all this stuff. And there's like all these little things that haven't been completed. And come to closing day, those things still haven't been completed.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to, it's like they have you over a barrel, though. It's like, what am I going to do? Like, delay my closing at this point when I have everything set up to move forward?
Right.
So I moved in despite that. I mean, it's all cosmetic things. It's not like, flooring's missing or something like that.
And I'm sure there's like an IOU contract.
Yeah.
Like they're coming back. Yeah.
We have a punch list. But it's so cool, to be able to move in there and
be set up.
Like, see this. I've literally watched it be built like from the ground up, and it's just such a nice space.
Yeah.
And
I
also
love that,
just
Melissa.
like that feeling of like, wow, like this is something I never thought I could do. Like, especially when getting divorced, I was like, I always had this dream of building a home. And I was like, that's never going to happen. Like, that's something I have to let go of with this getting a divorce. I'm not going to be partners with anyone. It's unattainable. And it's like, no, it's not.
No,
like,
it isn't at
is,
all.
you did it.
Right. Good for you. And you probably are starting to feel so settled because you've been so unsettled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It feels a lot better. Because, this process, I signed the paperwork in late January to start the construction. And then I've been out of my house for over a month.
Yeah.
So, it feels really good to finally, like, put down roots.
Yeah.
And I plan on staying here for, like, a long time. It feels like way more permanent than any other move that I've made.
Right. Good deal.
So, and there's plenty of room. Like, the closet is gigantic in the master bedroom. So if anyone ever does live with me, there's space for them to live there.
Yeah, I love that. And it's good to have a place that, like you said, you can grow. The kids can get bigger and be there. It's not like you feel like it's a transient. Like I loved my townhome right after my divorce, but I knew that I wasn't going to, I eventually would want a house of sorts. So it's like, once I was in that, then it did feel like I could stay the course for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
I thought my townhouse was going to last me longer than it did. But quickly realized it was not the spot for us.
Yeah. I still love I could see going back there at some point, but for now, a house is great with the kids and the yard and stuff. You'll feel that way too, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I mean, the funny thing is too, I closed on my new house exactly 4 years to the day that I moved out of my marital home.
Wow.
I didn't even realize that was happening until it popped up on my Facebook memories. And I was like, damn, like,
what
that
a coincidence.
Is pretty wild.
Yeah. So 4 years, guys, 4 years.
4 years is what it takes.
4 years is when the magic really starts to happen.
You think you're out the door with just coming out and getting a divorce, but no.
It's 4 years. It's going to be 4 years.
What have you been doing for the past 3 weeks?
Mine is so depressing. So Tatum left for college. We dropped her off. I stayed 5 days, and I'm going back in 1 week. I can't do it. I'm okay, but I'm depressed. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks so bad. But she's happy, and her place, NYU, they live in dorms, but they're these old hotels that essentially they've converted. I believe that's how they're converted to dorms. Her view is so magnificent. I mean, you can see the river and all these high rises. It's this beautiful view. Her room's not small. We thought it would be tiny. It's big. Her roommate's lovely. I couldn't ask for a happier, better situation for her. But, coming home without her blows. If anyone's ever taken a kid to college, I was literally on Fifth Avenue heaving, sobbing, uncontrollable sobbing. I
can't imagine. And because you didn't just take her to college. It's not like she's just an hour away from the next few cities over. States away.
She's states away. She's a flight away. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But it's her dreams are I see that this is where she belongs. When you're there, you're just oh my God, I'm so happy for you. but sad for us.
I know, it's such a mix. It's like how incredible that she's like become this like young adult that is able to go to NYU and do all these amazing things, and that you've like helped her get there. But then at the same time, it's just like, but that's my baby.
I know, it is. She is. Now I'm like on this thing where I'm like trying to find any clients in New York I can find, where I'm literally like, I'm going to start just going for work as much as I can. And so that it's not like pressure on her too. Because if I'm there for work, I can just be there at a hotel and she can come see us or, you know, she doesn't feel like, oh my God, my mom's here, I have to hang out with her every second. Not that she wouldn't want to, but I want her making friends and doing all the things. I don't want to be in her way. So anyway, it's like funny. I keep telling our CEO, I'm like, okay, who else do we know in New York City that I can go visit? Who else?
Oh my God.
That's my whole MO right now. It's like,
and you're going up in a week?
I'm going up in a week. Yeah.
Oh
Which actually God. Tatum said today, she's like, I'm actually like really kind of longing for you. Like I think she has waves of homesickness too. So she was like, it's like keeping me going that you're coming, because it's hard. Like you're basically asking her to go sleep with a stranger and in this room that's, you know, not home. They saw a roach. Like, of course we have roaches in Atlanta, but it's like things like she's, you know, it used to be she would scream for Maria and I, and we're like running there to help her. And now she's in this building and she's figuring out her food for the day. Like, I can't explain it, and no one's more capable
I totally
than her,
get it.
but it's just it's a grieving process.
Well, right. And for her too, like I felt that like when I went to college, I missed my parents so much.
Yeah, same.
And it was, and I was going home every weekend.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, she can't just run home.
No. And I don't, like, she definitely has moments of, like, while we were still there, I remember we were having a drink and we just told her, come say hi to us when you get, like, a break and you're, like, moving in and all that. We helped her move in. So we're sitting and having a drink, and she comes around the corner. We're right by her dorm. Huge smile, and she's like, okay, I have a friend group. Like, I've met, like, so-and-so and so-and-so. Uh-huh. And it felt like I felt how excited she was. And these were, like, kick-ass girls. So I'm like, you can't, like, she's doing the things to get herself set up, but it's still, like, moments of where she'll say, I was alone for 3 hours today, and it was kind of, I'm getting homesick. So it's going to be a process for all of us.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll just keep trying to figure out how to go there.
I know, right?
It's really
actually my kids want to go to New York for Christmas.
Nice. So I'm sure I'll be there.
I'm hoping to plan something.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing like Brecken wants to see snow.
Okay.
And I think he thinks that like going to New York is the only way to see snow and avoid the possibility of being put on a ski lift.
Oh, it's valid. Yeah.
He does not want to go skiing. He does not want to be put in ski school.
Right.
So his mind, he's like,
New York City, New York.
No.
I think Tatum was around Kaylin's age when we took her to New York and she decided she wanted to, like, we planted that seed in her of like, I want to live here. I know. And it was like always she would say, I'm going to live in New York. I'm going to live in New York.
Really?
Yeah. She was little, tiny. I mean, she was tiny, chubby face, like little girl, and was just like, I will live in New York. You
and Chris went together to drop her off, and Maria.
Yeah.
Right?
So Chris and I were there at the beginning, and then Maria joined at the very end. And, you know, that's a whole nother thing that I think is worth mentioning is it's like these big life things that happen post-divorce when you're still very much friendly with your ex, the way Chris and I are, it does look different. It's like I'm grieving and he's there, but he's not my person anymore. It's hard to explain, but it's like those are the kind of things, too, that I think the hits keep coming.
Yeah.
You know, and then Maria shows up.
I'm sure you've envisioned taking Tatum to college together all the time, but now it's like it's just a different together.
It's a different together, and I think it's confusing, and I don't care about that, but like to the other parents, it's just like, wait a minute.
Oh.
Who are Tatum's?
Yeah.
But they're all so sweet. Like what I'm realizing too is nobody gives a shit. Like they don't know me. It's New York. These people have seen it all. Like, I don't think anyone really cares.
Most of the time, because that happens all the time at like my kids' school.
Right.
Like, we'll be there, all of us together, and people are kind of like, well, wait a minute. Like, who's who here? And then when we explain who everyone is, they're like, oh, well, that's really cool. Like, it's like always so praised that we're able to like do that together. Yeah, we look like a pack of humans traveling together, but no more so than, what was it? The Mormon No More couple that we have.
Exactly.
It's like 6 kids.
Exactly.
We only have between the 2 of us 3 kids. So.
Yeah, no, I think it is. It's totally people. And the more we're out there, the more normalized it is.
Yeah.
Like I didn't worry too much about that.
I know. I really do hope that like people, it's one thing to talk about this stuff on the podcast, but like not your average heterosexual couples listening to us. But I do hope that the people that see us out and about and know that we're divorced and everything can kind of like see that example and know that there's this other way of doing things.
Yeah. Right.
It really makes me sad when I know that like these people have gotten a divorce and they can't even be in the same room together,
Yeah.
Like, what a bummer.
I agree. Like that would have complicated it immensely. Like this felt very like we're helping her. We're, Chris and I are hanging up her clothes. We're both in the dorm. Her sweet little roommate was there. Like it felt very cool. And then she met Maria. And so it wasn't like this. It was never awkward for me at all. I felt more sadness for Chris because it's like I'm there with Maria and he's grieving too. I mean, his daughter's leaving and it's, now I'm with her and we're going to have dinner. And not that he hung with us a lot, but it's like, I don't know. I think you also feel sorry for your ex in some circumstances. And I felt some of that.
Well, it's kind of like you do want him around, but to an extent, you know?
Totally. But it was it was fine. It was smooth and easy.
So, with the exception of the fact that you had to leave your child.
I know. What the hell?
New York City.
I know. Literally bawling. Like people are driving by, I'm sure thinking like, what just happened to that woman?
Oh, I'm sure you're not the first mom to bawl outside.
I'm not, but I don't know that people know. It's such a busy city. Like she's not like on a campus per se. So it's like you're on a street corner with 1,000 restaurants, 1,000 work buildings. So it's just like this. There were other parents, but I also didn't feel like it's almost like I wondered if there were a lot of second, third children because nobody seemed to care as much as I did. Like that was the vibe I got. I'm sure I was focused on myself, but
also you and Tatum, I think, have like a unique relationship. Like you guys are close and you do things together.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just like this typical mother and daughter, or like bickering back and forth.
Yeah.
Like you guys actually like are involved and do like the races and stuff, know?
We were.
Not a lot of people do that.
She was really sad too, but I think she was also excited. Kind of parallels our thing where you're scared but hopeful,
Right. Oh, and it's like any change is scary.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. It's like, and kind of like having this thought just in this moment, when you're going through those kind of changes, like as you're growing old, like getting older, like transitioning from being a teenager to an adult, going to college for the first time, living away from home for the first time, starting your first real job, like those are all transitions that are kind of like, it's not a choice. You have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to do those
Yep.
things. You have to like jump in.
Yep.
But when it comes to like getting a divorce,
it's
that
kind of
feels very much like a choice.
It is.
Yeah.
Hope you don't make the wrong one. Yeah.
Right. And so it can be hard to like actually jump in.
Totally. And a lot of people won't. Like that's the reality. Like I think a lot of people won't jump in because it is too scary.
Or it's going to take you time. It also reminds me, like, I used to be like so ballsy in my 20s. Like I would, like jump off of rocks into lakes and, no big deal. And when we were in Croatia and visiting that was the Blue Cave, we jumped off the boat and into the water. I had it in my head that I wanted to do it because I'm just like, this is so cool. Of course, I'm not going to pass up this like unique opportunity to do this. But at the same time, it's like my adult brain is kind of like, no, don't do that. That's kind of risky and scary. And like, you know better than to jump into waters that you don't know what's below. I mean, I can see those rocks, but my mom brain's taking over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have a lot to lose now.
And I get up there and I'm just like, I can't sit up here and contemplate and look down, look off this boat. I just got to do it. And it made it so much easier to not sit there and fucking sit on the thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like a few days later and we were at like one of these jumping rocks. It was like right by a bar. This place is really cool. It's actually where Game of Thrones is shot. It's called Old
sweet.
City. It's like right outside of Dubrovnik. And there was like a bar on like the side of this mountain. And then all these people were like swimming and jumping off this really big rock. I mean, I don't know how many feet up in the air it was, but it looked scary.
Tall.
Very tall. And like this girl is up there for like 10 minutes contemplating and like thinking about doing this. And I'm like sitting there like, you're just making it worse. Like,
yeah, just go.
Jump in.
Or don't.
And she finally jumps in and everybody's like cheering for her and everything. And it was like this really cool moment. And then about 2 minutes later, another girl climbs up there. She doesn't contemplate at all. Like they're about the same age, same, you know, whatever. And she jumps off too. Like no one cheers.
Oh, God.
Like, she didn't have the big dramatic build.
No, the big build up.
You know?
But it is like what makes somebody like, I'm definitely more like the first girl, and I probably wouldn't even go up there. Like I'd be like, you morons, go ahead. I'm going to be down here.
Right. I probably would have done it in my 20s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about it.
Right.
But there was no fucking way.
No, I'm a total chicken now. I don't do anything.
Climb up a rock barefoot in front of 50 people.
No.
In a bathing suit.
No, I'm not doing any of it. I'm too scared. Maria does shit all the time, and she'll take the kids, and Oliver will be back with me scared, and Reed will be running with her, and I'm always like back with Oliver, like, yeah, I wouldn't do it either, dude. Like, you just hang here with me. Why are we doing that? Let those morons do it.
But it's kind of like to bring it back to Tatum. She has to do this.
Yeah, she has to do this. Yeah.
And it's scary, and she's, you know, missing you and your whole family. But it's like, that's just the time in her life that she has to make that transition.
Right. And I think about people too who she knows if she needs me. I've told her 50 times, like, I can be here literally in 4 hours. If you tell me that you are desperate, then I'll just drive to the airport and fly there. Right. Like, I think she does know she's safe in that I could get there if I needed to. It's not like it's California where it's really hard. Like New York, there are flights all the time. Like, it's very simple to get there. But I don't know. Yeah, it's depressing. I'm definitely not myself right now. But
that's tough.
It's tough. It'll get easier, I'm sure.
I mean, that's just it. As you know, with everything, it's like things just get easier.
Yeah.
You know, with time. You know, time heals all wounds, whatever they say. But I've actually heard that it's not that like it heals. It's just that it gets easier to live with.
I know, but then it's like, I wonder like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to get easy. It's going to get easier to live with my life sucking more and more. It's like you keep taking things away from me. And it's like, okay, so I guess it's just, I learned to live with that it just keeps continually sucking more. Is that the reality? Sucking. I mean, it's just like, come on. Right? Like, there's got to be something better than that, but I don't know what it is. So I guess I just keep making up reasons to go to New York.
This sounds depressing.
Right. It is. It's horrible. Like, Maria is like, I can't even talk about it really without, like, if I start to really talk about it, then get sad again. But she will be home for a month over the holidays. Like, there are like these windows. I don't think I'll go more than probably 3 or 4 weeks without seeing her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
that's good.
Anyway, we were almost out of time already, and we never got to our topic.
I know we are. So maybe we save the quote for our next episode.
All right. What do we call this episode? The bullshit episode?
The bullshit.
The catch up on our bullshit episode?
The catch up on our bullshit.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, very well.
So at least we had an episode because last week we did not.
I know, we're so sorry, but we're now back in action and back in town for the foreseeable future. So we will be much more organized.
And hopefully in the next few days, I'll have internet again, and it won't be, because right now that's one of the reasons why I'm so pressed for time. I don't have internet in my house.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Thanks, AT&T.
I know. God, what the hell?
I know. New construction neighborhood. They haven't installed my terminal. So if you work for AT&T,
get your ass over here. I'll be in a much better place for our next episode. I promise. I won't be such a
listen, Alli. We can't be positive all the time.
We can't be positive all the time. That's valid.
We have been through 180 episodes. I think we've had one Debbie Downer episode prior to this around Christmas 1 year.
That's what we'll call it, Debbie Downer. It really sucks right now. Let me leave though on one highlight.
Okay.
So Maria and I have been wanting and looking for another dog, like a rescue. And we've gone to shelters. We've been doing all the things. And we finally found this dog that we loved. But these rescues are really strict. So you fill out applications. Right. They did multiple home visits. They had to meet every one of our kids. It's a whole thing. But last week while I was in New York, we got approved and we got him. And so he is amazing. And so I'm kind of pouring all my missing Tatum into this new dog.
Yeah. What's his name?
His name is Theo. And he's he is adorable. In fact, I'll send you a picture and maybe we can put it on our post.
Yeah, well, maybe that should be the cover picture for this episode.
And actually, Theo's been through hell. So I feel like maybe he is a good face of hell because he's been through some shit. But he's ours now. So things are looking up for Theo.
Yay.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll end on that note.
All right. We'll be back next week with more positivity.
More positivity coming your way. All right. Later.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandalli@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Alli, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.